we can see the 5 keys to Facebook advertising during uncertain times, right? Perfect.
5 keys to Facebook advertising during uncertain times, live for you today. My name is Dave Kerpen, the former CEO, the founder of Likeable Local, and the current, I'm currently a lot of stuff, but for today, the current CEO of Apprentice. And I am delighted to be here with my co-host, Jonathan Logan. John is you didn't add your title here. You're the content manager. You're basically run Likeable Local these days.
I do a lot, yeah. Since quarantine started, I've definitely grown a beard, but at Likeable Local, my official title is Director of Strategic Partnerships. Probably wouldn't fit there in that little space, but essentially what I do at Likeable Local is help our partners and businesses succeed on social media.
Amazing. And I guess based on my title, I start companies and grow them and write books about business and stuff. But enough about us. Let's get to the content, because we've got a lot of content for you. Before we do that, one more exciting note. Or is it coming up next? Where's our giveaway? Is that
That's after this.
All right.
Jumped the gun a little bit, but
all I'm gonna say is you're gonna want to use the hashtag advertising in 2020, and you're going to want to post on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn using that hashtag, and we're going to give away some books. But what we're going to talk about today: why Facebook, why social media. Get into objective-based marketing, making sure that you have the right goals and you know what social media can and can't do. We're going to talk about the power of authenticity and transparency, the 3 R's of your return: recognize, reassure, and redirect your audience, and the power of remarketing. This is action-packed, chock-filled with content, and yes, we are recording it. So even though I'm a fast-talking New Yorker, A, you have Jonathan, who John's a slower talker for you, and B, you have the recording, so no worries there.
And yeah, this is what you gave that little hint about.
Indeed. We've got copies of Likeable Social Media, 3rd edition, that I actually co-authored with my co-CEO of Apprentice, our sponsor for today. And we are going to give 3 copies away. 3 copies away, and the only way to win is to use the hashtag advertising in 2020 throughout the next 46 minutes, and you could be a winner. So tweet away, Instagram away, LinkedIn message away, or LinkedIn post away, and Facebook away, and you could win the book.
Yes.
So why Facebook? Social media has always been important, but I think in the last 5 months, when people stopped going out and increased their usage online and stayed home, it became more and more important. What do you think, John?
Certainly. I mean, it is a huge impact. Every single business, and I'm not exaggerating with this, every single business that I've supported over the last 3 months, I've looked at on social media beforehand to see if they were still open, how I would need to interact with them if I were to go there. So yeah, it is so important right now.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that, but the reality is, I don't even know if a business is open these days, and social media is a super quick way to find out, right? I just check out their Facebook page, and if their Facebook page is dead, I'm going to assume that they're not open. So that would really be a horrible waste if you're actually open and you're not active on social media. So be in control of your messaging. Speak directly to your customers. Immediately communicate. And as I mentioned a bit ago, Facebook and Instagram are seeing usage increases of 70%. They're exploding. So if you're still on the sidelines, or if you still have a less than sophisticated advertising and marketing strategy, what the heck are you waiting for? I mean, if a global pandemic and 70% increase isn't going to get you, with a sophisticated social media strategy, what the heck would ever do that?
Yeah, and there's over 3.5 billion users across just Facebook and Instagram alone. And that 70% statistic is specifically time spent in the apps. So that's more time people are being in there, viewing content, having the chance to see your business, your promotions, whatever it may be, that's important to communicate to your audience.
Awesome.
And
by the way, if you have questions, post your questions in the chat. We'll try to get to them. And you can also ask questions using that hashtag and you can win. And I'm going to ask Sam from Apprentice to pick a winner, our first winner for me in just a moment. Well, sorry, I interrupted you there, John. What were you saying?
No worries. I was just going to say social media is really important right now because it allows you to build more effective relationships with your audience. Those 4 things that we had just touched on all boil down to building more effective relationships, being able to listen to your audience, communicate to them, serve their direct needs.
Yeah, and let's face it, it's a lot harder to build relationships in person these days.
Yeah, certainly is. All right.
So let's talk about objective-based marketing. I've seen a lot of people say, I want to use social media, but I don't know exactly what I want to do. And to me, that's a problem, right? Because if you don't have goals, how can you get anywhere?
Yeah, that certainly is one of the biggest things that we, at Likeable Local help our businesses with, is identifying what goals social media can help accomplish and ones that actually relate to their business. So not just more likes or followers, but things that relate to their business goals. And we can break those down into 4 different categories. And those are awareness, loyalty, leads, and sales. So we work with the businesses to find out what their objectives are. Right now, it's incredibly important for people to know, like we've been talking about, what's going on in your business, how they can currently support you if you're still open. So raising awareness and being able to provide those immediate up-to-date communications, that is a lot of what businesses are focusing on right now. And the second part of that is social media. The people that follow you and connect with you tend to be your most loyal customers. And I don't follow every business that I shop with. It's just the ones that I really love and support and care about. So you can use social media to build that loyalty with them and leverage that loyalty, especially right now, to help carry you through this pandemic and help you reopen and return from the past few months. And of course, related to business goals, we have leads and sales. So connecting people with new business, closed opportunities, and social media, being able to track that customer journey. That's such a powerful thing that I know we're going to talk about later, so I won't spend too much on that right now.
Love it. Hey, here's an idea I just had for somebody that wants to win a book but doesn't quite know what to post. Why don't you share right now one business that you're loyal to, that you think does a nice job on social media, that you have been a loyal customer of? Give them a shout out. Not forget yourself for a moment. Add some value for another business. Give another business a shout out and use that hashtag advertising in 2020 right now.
Wonderful. Great idea. All right. And yeah, we're moving into something that I know is really important. And I know that you can speak quite in depth on these 2 topics. So, what do authenticity and transparency mean to you and how it relates to a business on social media?
Yeah, thanks, John. I'm totally this is really an important one for me. I've spent a lot of time and energy writing about and speaking about authenticity and transparency, and I think a lot of businesses still really, especially businesses where the owners are of a certain older generation, really struggle with this because it's not the way business maybe was done, and it's not the way marketing was done, and advertising was done. 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But the thing is, in today's world, when you're authentic, when you share your authentic, vulnerable self, when you're transparent, it really resonates with your customers. It really resonates with your prospects, and it becomes quite a valuable marketing tool.
It does.
Let's jump in more.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the ways that you can do that, how you can speak with authenticity and transparency, and how I've been able to communicate that to businesses and how they've been able to internalize it and understand it. We call it the 3 R's of your return, which are recognize, reassure, and redirect. So I want to talk a little bit about recognizing and what that means.
Yeah, so this is really important. And I think a lot of folks have been anxious about this one, not just with COVID, but with Black Lives Matter movement. And it's like, what do they say? Should they stay silent? Do they need to say something? I think it's really important to recognize what's going on and to recognize what's going on in the world. And frankly, my opinion, take a stand, right? Take a stand. Um, when I have taken a stand in the past, I have lost some customers, but I have gained a lot of loyal customers as well. And so my opinion, take a stand. For me, for instance, we've taken a pretty strong stand about the Black Lives Matter movement, in favor of it, in favor of anti-racism, in favor of change. And yeah, I've gotten a whole bunch of people that have said all lives matter, and they stopped following me, and maybe I even lost some customers that I don't know about. But I know I've also gained customers and gained loyal followers and gained respect from folks that agree with the stand I took. So I think recognize the state of the world, then recognize the state of your business. If your business is struggling, it's okay to say that. If your business had to lay people off, it's okay to say that. I think it'll resonate with people, because a lot of us are struggling out there. Recognize the impact, and recognize what it is that you're doing. All right. So it's really important to deal with the outside world, but then to actually step up and do something about it. And what you do is also going to be important to your prospects, and your customers want to know what it is that you're doing about it.
Yes. Yeah, that's certainly true. And a big part of being able to recognize what's going on is listening to what's happening in the world, what your customers are saying, what your audience is saying. Is there anything that you want to add about how to listen to what's coming in and how to best recognize what's important?
Yeah, I mean, so everyone thinks of social media as a talking tool, but social media is 50% talking and 50% listening. That's what communication is. So really thinking about how to tap into Twitter search, Facebook search, LinkedIn search, increasingly really valuable, to see what your customers and prospects are talking about, to understand what their concerns are, to understand what their passion points are. And the more you pay attention to those things, the more you listen, the better you're going to be able to adapt your business and your products and your marketing and your advertising and your communication to meet their needs. So how in the world can you know what your customers and prospects needs are if you don't listen? And a lot of people are shocked. I speak all over the world, John, and one of the exercises I do is I say, look up your business on Twitter right now and look up your competitors' businesses on Twitter. Just search. And people are like, oh my God, people are talking about us. People are talking about our competitors. This is crazy. Over and over and over again. So to me, we sort of take these things for granted now, but I think for many it's a real reckoning. I do have a first winner, so congratulations to Alyssa Pacheco. Alyssa Pacheco, you're going home with Likeable Social Media 3rd edition. I can't, because of the virtual background, I can't hold it up to the camera. It disappears. But I'm holding it up right over here in front of my face. You win. Congratulations, Alyssa, and keep those hashtags coming. All right, let's move it, John. We got so much content in here.
We do. And you brought up the second part here, because when you're listening to what's happening and you're recognizing what your customers and your audience need, the second part is reassurance. So there, you're able to reassure customers that you're taking the situation seriously, that right now specifically their health is not at risk if they come in and support you. You can reassure them on the precautions and practices that we have to keep them safe. And we do have some examples coming up here too, showing how this works with businesses in action. But with listening, you can also identify other things that you might need to reassure people on, such as, is there going to be any impacts to the quality of the service you're providing, or any delays into when they would be able to expect to receive things from you? So those are other things that you need to be paying attention to and listening for, to be able to know that you need to reassure your audience on that.
Yeah, and you want to talk about a change in 2020, right? I mean, this is not stuff that you would have been doing 6 months ago, but this is really important stuff, and people are concerned out there. And so just being able to recognize that that they're concerned and reassure them is super valuable.
Mm-hmm. Because then we're moving into redirecting, which is the final part. We've listened to our audience, we've understood what they're saying, we've reassured them on whatever that may need reassurance, and then we're redirecting them. We could be redirecting their mindset to be thinking a different way. You don't need to be concerned, you can trust us, you can shop with us, or we may be redirecting them to support in a new way. So that could be, right now, in Maine, where we are, some restaurants are able to do indoor dining. A lot of them have adapted just to takeout, though, so they need to redirect their audience to that. A lot of places that we're working with are redirecting people, instead of canceling, to rescheduling for a future date, doing gift cards and things like that. So changing the customer's mindset and how they can currently support you.
Yeah, and I think you'd be surprised. People are going to support you if you've done the work over time and you have the customer, the loyal customers. Whether you're a restaurant that's going to delivery, or a salon. We have a salon in our town where the people are coming to our house now with face masks. Yeah. Great. I mean, so it's really a matter of how can you adapt, and then to your point, Jonathan, redirect the customer's mindset, get them in a better place to be able to continue to do business with you.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I mentioned beforehand that I took some time to get some examples in here. So I'm a very visual person. I like to see things laid out in front of me. So I have 3 different examples here to show how that recognize, reassure, redirect works in action. So client A is a local dentist. They were concerned on the best ways to communicate the new COVID-19 policies. And they also, through listening, identified that people were very concerned on the amount of time that their appointments would take now, and when they would be able to schedule next appointment. There would be a big delay in when they'd be able to come in. So what we did was first, recognize that need. We listened and heard that was something that people were concerned about. The second part that we did was reassure their audience on the speed of their visits, and of course the safety, that their safety is never going to be compromised there, but they are still able to book an appointment now. They're still able to come to the office and have a regular scheduled visit. And then we redirected the audience's mindset on how to now book their appointment that they've reopened, what they need to be aware of beforehand. And what that all resulted in was a smoother return to business for them. They were able to communicate these messages en masse to their audience, make sure they were aware of it, and direct them to how they can currently support them and get back into the office for their cleanings or dental work.
Love it.
And then client B was a local med spa, and they were forced to close completely during COVID-19. So the dentist was still able to do emergency procedures, versus client B was completely closed down. Now they were just able to reopen their doors starting June 4th. So we needed to first, listen and recognize that a lot of their audience was pretty upset that they weren't able to come in, not with the business, but just with the state of the world. They were really craving that care. You mentioned that they're salons are coming to the houses now. They weren't able to do that with some of their procedures. So it's great to be able to get those people back into the offices. Of course, needed to reassure them on their safety though, and redirect them to book their appointments for, coming back into the world. They took that as something, they listened to their audience wanting those procedures, and they listened to the fact that now that the country was reopening in their area, that people were returning to work, that they wanted to have these procedures done so they could look their best in their return.
I like the name Mad Peaches too.
Yeah.
These are all likable local clients?
They are, yes, all likable local clients.
Awesome.
And client C is a local restaurant in Massachusetts. They are now able to do dine-in service in addition to takeout. That was something they were just able to start right before Father's Day. So this was really recent. So they recognized that people were really craving to have that dining experience, especially when it comes to Father's Day. They were looking to take that out, and their community, loved their restaurant. So we need to reassure them that they, could come there, they could eat there, that it was still the same delicious food as always, and that it was safe for them to do so. We redirected that traffic to book for Father's Day, and they were very successful over the past weekend with their patio filled with a lot of people there for their Father's Day lunch specials. So really great opportunity for that local business to come back, showcase the new changes, that they're not just takeout anymore, and get the people that were interested in that dine-in service in there for that weekend. And because we just kind of showed those examples right there, I do want to take a moment to let everyone know about a special offer that we've put together specifically for this webinar. At Likeable Local, we are really dedicated to your business's success on social media. Every client that we work with is paired with one individual person to lead their social media journey. So we're creating your content, managing your advertising campaigns, and making sure your business is working in the right direction. So as a special offer, we are waiving our setup fees, and we've also discounted our prices a bit as well to help businesses in their return from COVID-19. So you can speak with me at reach.at/Jonathan. You can head there at any time and we can talk and learn more about your business, and we'll be able to schedule a consultation so I can hear about your needs and see if we'd be a perfect fit to partner together. So again, that's reach.at/Jonathan, and we'd be happy to learn more about your business and what you're working to accomplish on social media.
And I'm super biased as the founder of Likeable Local, but they do amazing work. I'm really proud of John and the team at Likeable Local for the work that they do. They've served literally thousands of small businesses in this space and helped them on their social media journey. So kudos to you, John, and team.
It's not just the reflection from the red screen. You actually have me blushing a little. But now we have quite a bit to cover here, because we're moving into something.
We gotta go fast, man. I got
really
a hard stop. Let's go.
We got this, because this is the power of remarketing. And this is something that I am super excited about, but it's something that takes a lot of work, but gives the best results for businesses. So in order to know about remarketing, you need to understand what it is. And remarketing is a form of social media targeting that's based on a set of sources. And those could be behaviors, actions, demographics. Essentially, you are marketing to people that have already been introduced to your business in some way. They've taken some sort of action where you've deemed them worthy to market to again. And there are various data sources where you can identify this person for remarketing. So there are 5 that you can use in Facebook for social media. There are the in-network actions. So the things that people are doing on social media, how they're engaging with your business. Are they followers of your page? Are they engaging with your content? Are they watching your videos? You'd be able to identify the people that have interacted with you there and then remarket to them. The Facebook Pixel, our second source, is something that's installed on your website that's tracking all of your website viewers and connecting them to a Facebook profile. So if someone goes onto your site and then leaves, that's no longer a dead end. You can retarget that person, get them back to your site, get them to convert, or whatever it may be that you're looking to do. The third option, the Facebook SDK, is specifically for mobile apps. That is something that you can integrate into your app to allow the Facebook login to your app, so you can collect user information that way, or to track in-app events so you can know which users are your spending the most time in the app or are purchasing through the app if you're doing any sales or anything like that. And the final 2 are something that every business probably already has a little bit of and should be generating: customer lists and offline events. So those are your list of actual customers, name, email, phone numbers, whatever sort of demographics that you have. And the only difference between a customer list and an offline events list is offline events are connected to a specific action. So that would be like POS data, where John Henry purchased an axe at 10:05 p.m. on Thursday. You would have all of that information and to be able to connect it back to the Facebook profile and to see the results from your ads. So those are the 5 data sources.
Really want to sell? Are we in the axe selling business? That's a little scary, actually, John. But okay.
I'm in the middle of nowhere now. Like there are so many bugs here in my new house. It's kind of gross at night, but there's a lot of woods and great fires. So I bought an axe just the other day to
All
start
right, fair
chopping down
enough.
some trees.
Bottom line is this is really, really valuable data, and these are really good tools for remarketing. I know it's a little overwhelming for folks, but we wanted to give the advanced stuff for those of you that are more advanced. And for those of you that are more beginners, rest assured, again, you get the recording, no worries there. I do have a second winner, John. So before you move
Ooh,
on,
okay.
a second person that used the hashtag advertising in 2020. I don't know what social network they're on, but I want to congratulate Beth Rosenthal. Beth Rosenthal, you're our second winner of Likeable Social Media third edition, actually recent edition, co-authored by Rob Burke from Apprentice and me. And we'll get your book out to you, Beth. And we still have one more winner to go. So keep on using that hashtag advertising in 2020 on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram, and we will choose a winner from a social network that we haven't chosen yet. So stay tuned. All right, keep it moving. I'm sorry, I keep stopping you, and you have so much great content.
Thank you. But yeah, moving on here, the biggest benefit for social media remarketing that I want you to understand is that it's really the only form of remarketing that allows you to reach a person cross network and cross device. So you really can build that lasting relationship with that person. You're not going to potentially lose them when they're at home or at work or when they get a new phone or a laptop. And Google AdWords and things like that, they've been making steps towards copying Facebook, but Facebook has it built in for every single user. So what this means is I'm the same person when I'm on my phone, at work, at home, no matter where I am, I'm the same person on every device. Because I'm logged into Facebook on every device, Facebook knows I'm that person and can continue to market me on every device. Versus the search remarketing is going to be based off of that user's device history and their actions there. And when I'm at work and I'm at home, I may be searching different things and they're building different profiles. So social media remarketing is really the most reliable way to continually reach the right person with your remarketing efforts. And with remarketing, it's one of the most valuable tools in advertising. And I have some statistics here that really illustrate that. When people are searching for your company, they've landed on your site, they've left, they've now come back to the search engine to complete their actions. With remarketing, the chances of them finding your brand increases by 1,046%. They're going to come back to you versus your competition. And that 70% likelihood of that remarketed customer coming back to you, that's them purchasing your product over your competitor. So not only are they going to find you, but there's a 70% higher chance of them purchasing from you. Most people have a very positive response to remarketing because it's tailored directly to them. If you're using remarketing the right way, you're able to progress your sales cycle and people feel like the ads are tailored directly for them, which is why Facebook and Instagram are so successful in this area.
Yeah, I mean, think about it from your perspective as a consumer, because we're all business people, but we're also all consumers. We all get remarketed to, and sometimes once in a while that feels a little creepy, but it works. Like when I'm looking for something, when I'm looking at orange shoes, and then I end up not purchasing them, but a day later I see an ad for orange shoes in my Facebook feed, I end up buying it. So The thing is, again, it might be a bit of a turnoff sometimes, but it works. And we know it works because we've all seen it and used it. So why not take advantage of that if you're the business person?
Likely, yes. And that remarketed ad, you're going to be 10 times more likely to click on it than if it was just shown to a new customer, because you've already been introduced to that product or the business or the services. So you're going to be more likely to take the action if it's something that you're continually interested in. And with that remarketing funnel, you can identify who those people are easily. And we'll show that in a minute here. But the final thing I wanted to show for statistics was the e-commerce event statistics using remarketing. So these are if you're selling products online, what's going to potentially happen if you leverage remarketing. Statistically, if you use remarketing, 28% higher chance to make a purchase. There's a 72% higher chance to recover that abandoned cart. There's a 6% chance typically that they return and purchase without remarketing. So you can see that, big change from 6 to 28%. They are 5 times more likely almost to purchase from you. And I think we have something special that you wanted to talk about now.
Oh, well, that's right. We we shared your special offer, and my special offer is the company that sponsored this free webinar as from Apprentice. And so, you know, um, I I started Apprentice with my EA of 2 years that said, we should we should scale what we're doing right now. He's a college student. He did great work. I taught him stuff, and I've done the same thing with a lot of college students over the years. And so he said, we should scale this model. And I said, you're totally right. And so we built a company called Apprentice that matches up small business owners and entrepreneurs with really smart, driven college students who serve as their COO in training, their EA, their jack of all trades. They help with things like admin support, prospecting, scheduling, personal projects, data and research, business development, content creation, and social media and marketing. So if you're looking for help in social media, one amazing option is to work with Likeable Local. If you're looking for help with social media and a bunch of other stuff to get stuff done, definitely take a look at Apprentice, and maybe you'll want to use them both, frankly. Skip to the next slide, John. We've got the offer that we've got for folks today. If you sign up for a demo today at scheduleapprentice.com and you mention webinar, we will completely waive the training and setup fee, which is $1,000 value. So take a look at scheduleapprentice.com. You can also take a look at our main website, chooseapprentice.com, to learn more about Apprentice. And now back to the show.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up, because I was mentioning beforehand that remarketing is a lot more work because you have all of those data sources that you need to manage. So it'd be great to be able to leverage an Apprentice to help source that data, organize it, and to leverage it for remarketing. Because once you have that data source, Facebook has something called the lookalike engine that connects the data that you have to the user on Facebook and allows you to advertise to that user. The other thing it does is allow you to find your next best customer, because essentially Facebook will look at all of the user demographic that you enter into it. It will look at what their behaviors are, what they do on social media, what they shop for, and they're going to find people that are just like them that aren't on your list. So they're going to find your next best customer for you and allow you to advertise directly to them. So some of the things that you'd be able to use in your remarketing, some of the things that you would be able to retarget off of would be, of course, website visitors. Anyone that's visited your website in the past 30 days, 60 days, 180 days, whatever you wanted to target in that range. You'd also be able to target people that are visiting certain pages, though. So are they looking at specific products? Are they interested in specific services? You'd be able to identify that and then deliver them the ad that speaks directly to what they were looking at. The next part for frequency, this is really good for businesses that sell products online. Someone that looks at 10 products on your site or 30 products or 100 products is going to be much more likely to purchase than someone that looks at one and then leaves. So you can set the frequency equal or greater to or less than a number to help identify who the people are that are looking at the most items on your website or coming to your site repeated times. You can also target by time spent on your website. So from there, you could choose the top 25, 10, or 5% of your website users. So the people that come there and maybe are reading your blogs or watching your videos, they're spending the most time on your site. I actually sometimes leave a tab open for days at a time because I want to go back there and purchase it and forget about it. So that's a great way to find someone like me who just leaves in the background and then it's lost in the sea of tabs.
I love time. That's me too, by the way. If you knew how many tabs I keep open, I think we could compete. It's truly insane. But I love time spent because these are going to be a lot of your most serious prospects, the folks that are not just getting there by accident and leaving. They're folks that really are interested in what it is that you are doing.
Absolutely. And if you're specifically selling online, to convert your abandoned carts, the best way to do that is to target people that have built a cart on your site. Some maybe choose the past 30 days, again, people that have those carts that haven't checked out yet. But if we just had the add to cart, they may have checked out. We could be retargeting to people that still have an existing cart and have already checked out. So we can actually refine that further. We can include or exclude additional people. So if we wanted to exclude people that have already purchased, now we're reaching specifically people that have carts but haven't purchased. So we can convert that abandoned cart by getting them back to our site.
By the way, I have to pivot. This is such great content, but people are now sharing the number of tabs they have open. So here's what I'm going to do for the final grand prize winner. In order to win, you have to share on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or Instagram with the number of tabs that you currently have open. And one person that shares the number of tabs that you currently have open with that hashtag advertising in 2020 is going to win our final copy. And actually, it'll be our grand prize. So I'll throw in my other recent book, The Art of People. You win both books, but you got to, I mean, people might be like, what the heck is that? But you can always share later the context of what you were saying. And I do think how many tabs is a very interesting topic that I've never thought about, but it's good to know there are fellow big tabbers out there.
Yep. My desktop is a whole nother story. We're not even going to talk about what that looks like. And so right there, we just talked about converting those abandoned carts, get those people that haven't purchased yet onto our site. We can also use similar tracking to get people to repurchase from us, renew, subscribe, those types of things. So if we look at people that have purchased in the last 30 days, I like to add a frequency to this because in most cases, as a business, you can kind of identify when someone becomes a more loyal customer. Maybe they need to purchase something 3 times and then they're going to continue to purchase from you because they've built that habit and you can tell they like your product. So you can choose people that have purchased and then set a frequency to it. So just reach the people that have purchased less than or equal to 2. And in that case, you're going to reach the people that are your newer customers that you need to get into the habit of rebuying. And then once they get to that third purchase, they're going to kind of do it on their own. So that frequency could be any number that you want, but that's a great way to get people into the habit of purchasing your product. And then finally, it's great for referrals and reviews, being able to target your direct people, being able to advertise to them and say, please leave us a review, being able to identify your best customers and ask for referrals as well, to share advertisements about a referral bonus, and it works really well. Here's one of our clients that's a HVAC in Idaho, and they went from about 20 Google reviews to 559 Google reviews in the last 6 months, thanks to remarketing and review solicitation. So I'm just I want to give them a round of applause to getting to that point and being able to continually funnel in the new customer data. So it's really great to see how those things actually come into action.
It's really amazing, social media. I often find myself explaining social media to novices, right? And what I say is, word of mouth, right? And they're like, yeah, of course, word of mouth drives my business. And I say, literally all social media is word of mouth on steroids, right? It's
Yep.
Word of mouth times a lot. And that's a perfect example of using social media for the purpose of accelerating word of mouth in a very positive, business-focused way. Really, just beautiful.
Absolutely. And that is actually the last tidbit of information. We did it. We got through just in time too. So
we even have a couple minutes for questions, I would say. So what I'm going to do now is post. We'll take a couple questions from the chat. We'll give away the grand prize in a moment. John, do you have on the slides a quick review of the special offers, or do you want to pull them up at some point? Pulling them up while we take questions.
Yeah, I can pull them up real quick.
We can spend a couple minutes on each slide, just so if people.
I saw that they were there, but I think because I started presenting, they didn't go in. Let me just.
No problem. And I'm going to scroll through the chat and see if I can find. I saw some questions earlier, so let me see.
While you're searching, I'll just go through these both again real quick.
Great.
So you have the likable local special offer. So we'd be able to set you up with your own dedicated success manager, help your business craft a strategy, content, and advertisements based on your business goals. We have no setup fee right now and a monthly rate discounted by $200 to help businesses, that are returning from this pandemic. And to claim this offer, go to reach.at/Jonathan. It's a bot right now, so you're not going to actually be able to speak to me. I'm doing the webinar, obviously, but you'll be able to get the information that you need to know and either schedule a time with me to actually speak one-on-one, or jump forward if you're ready to move. And the second piece we have, the apprentice special offer. Anything you want to say on that, Dave?
Sure. Just I'm delighted with the students that we have. They are really, really bright Ivy League students, Cornell, Columbia, Harvard, Penn, and they are ready to work. And we'd love to introduce one of them to you. We find that they get a lot more done for about a third of the price of a full-time employee. So really, really excited about what we're doing with Apprentice. And you can go to scheduleapprentice.com or chooseapprentice.com to learn more. So Keith Ginsburg asks, what services do you think should not be sold on Facebook? What services should not be sold on Facebook? I'm going to say pretty much anything can be sold on Facebook, but what I would say is that certain things like professional services might be better suited for a LinkedIn than a Facebook. Doesn't mean it can't be sold on Facebook, but it might be better suited elsewhere. What would you say to that, John?
I would agree. Each social network has its strengths. So you'll need to identify what is the best avenue for your business. Having that presence everywhere is important, but there's going to be networks that have more value. There are some industries that don't work well in paid social because Facebook doesn't allow that to be promoted. There are certain, regulations, like if you're going to promote alcohol, you have to advertise to people over 21, obviously. But there are other industries that have stricter regulations. Actually, we showed that med spa earlier. One of the things that you can't show, there's a lot of beauty standards on Facebook. They don't want users to be on there feeling bad about themselves. So they have, image restrictions. And that's one of the things that it helps to have a professional there to help you work around that, because you want to keep your business in good standing with Facebook so you continue to leverage the tools that they have.
Thanks. Avery asks, we're not a retail operation, only B2B, education, not-for-profits. What can you do for us? I'm not going to sell you. I'm just going to say that there are lots of things that you can do for yourself or that Likeable Local or Apprentice can do for you. But I would focus on, again, more on LinkedIn, maybe Twitter for you. Dave asks, what type of spend versus return could be expected for a Facebook ad campaign? Again, it really depends a lot on your goals. What I always recommend is to test. Come up with a goal, take a look at all the stuff that we've done today, and test a small budget to see how well you do, and then you can always scale up. Jeff's asking, how do the hashtags work on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, elsewhere? I mean, hashtags are obviously most traditionally sort of used on Facebook, but I see hashtags all the time on Instagram, and increasingly I'm seeing hashtags on LinkedIn as well. And I'm using hashtags. I'm following hashtags on LinkedIn. I find it very, very useful. I would say Facebook is probably the only place where hashtags are not that useful, but that's that but you can still use them, of course, and we can still track them. Dave's asked, I'm going to have you take this one, John. What percentage of posts should be awareness, information, sales? How would you think about that?
Yeah, that is a great question, because if you were 100% sales, you're just going to push people away. So there isn't a perfect number. Every business is going to have a little bit different of a strategy, but we typically look at around 70% being more awareness, informational, relationship building, and 30% focused on sales, lead gen, that type of balance. 70-30.
Cool. Thank you. Nicholas says, if authenticity is key, why does the world seem so fake with all of the "we are here for you" during COVID videos and messaging? Yeah, I mean, I know it can get a little cliche, it can get a little trite. I would say the challenge for you is to be different, is to be real. You can still be real.
The authenticity, transparency is huge in that. It's there's a difference between something that's put together to be marketing and something that's coming from you.
And you know what else I would say for most of you who are watching, you're probably with small businesses. There may be a few from large businesses. I actually believe this is a huge, huge business advantage that you, the small business owner and entrepreneur, has over the Fortune 500. The Fortune 500 is going to be very, very hard for them to be authentic. It's just hard, right? They're huge. So, but you can be, and you can differentiate yourself. You can be real. And I don't know about you guys, but I would much rather give business to somebody, a small business that's real, than like a monolith that's giving me some BS, inauthentic message. Beth gives me basically a shout out for what I said about getting haters, but more people standing with them. Thank you, Beth, for the shout out. And I gave you that prize before I'd even read that shout out. So congratulations again. Lots of people sharing comments. I'm going to take just a couple more questions here. I see Facebook as more of a B2C platform. How do I promote B2B? Again, I would go more LinkedIn there. Keith's asking whether the reach.ad/Jonathan is an email. No, it's a website form that you would go to. But John, share your email for folks if you don't mind, if people can email you.
Yeah, Jonathan@likeablelocal.com.
Jonathan@likeablelocal.com. There you go. All right, cool. And I'm going to choose a grand prize winner in just a moment. I'm loving to see all these tabs, all these 41, 3, 18. The last question I'll take will be from Roy. What social media platform is ready to explode for the next gen? I think it's a great question because it's always about figuring out where the young people are going next. I would say TikTok is certainly probably already there. As the next really big platform. It's probably, like I said, it's already there. So I don't know if that's cheating or not. I beyond TikTok, I don't have one yet. I mean, I could speculate, but I really don't know. I would say TikTok. John, do you have another answer to that question?
TikTok is definitely the biggest newcomer, and I would say they've accelerated to the point where you can say they're a big player. Biggest thing is going to be staying power. Snapchat's around and they're big, but they're not as big as they once tried to put themselves up to be. TikTok will be interesting to see if they have the staying power that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn have proven to have.
Awesome. So I want to thank every single one of you guys for joining us today. Thank you so much to John Logan and the team at Likeable Local for helping make this happen. Thank you to Sam and Rob and the team, and Jalen and the team at Apprentice for helping make this happen. Thank you to each and every one of you. You guys are why we do this. And my grand prize winner, don't leave yet. My grand prize winner is Nicholas Gantenberg. Nicholas Gantenberg, you win Likeable Social Media 3rd edition and The Art of People. You'll get your information to us, and we will get you both copies, both books in the mail. I hope some of you take advantage of our special offers today. And until next time, thanks again, and have a super, super likable rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you all. Bye.